All right. We're supposed to look at the fundamentals of the emotional intelligence, then move on to look at the misconceptions, some myths, things that are not really true. Or we think each time you think about emotional intelligence, you always believe that there are those things, but they are not. And of course, we'll also look at it that look beyond emotional intelligence. There are also different types of intelligence. All right, many intelligences that you can think of. Then we'll look at the framework of emotional intelligence, the strategies that will help us to overcome one thing that has been generally believed to be responsible for our irrational behavior. Anytime you behave in a way that's later regret or that you are not proud of yourself, that is something that they discover in our brain. We need to look at how can we, overcome the, interference of that thing called, emotional hijack. Then we take emotional intelligence assessment for personal and personality temperaments. Okay, so there are two tests that I would like for us to take today, but there's one that I think we can take here. The second one, you can take it at your own time. So moving on, let me move away from here. Quickly, let's look at this. And I want you to really think through it. I have three objects on the screen. Carrots, egg, and coffee bean. People online, are you with us, please? Yes, so which of these three items would you rather be? Think about it. Coffee bean. So we have carrots, we have eggs, and we have coffee bean. Now, before you make your choice, also think about what happens to them when we put them inside hot water. Right? Think about it, quick. I'm just going to go around and pick someone. All right. Tell me your choice. Right, Dennis.
I'm gonna be the egg adults when you go through the hot water boiling process.
I didn't hear that.
I said yes.
Wow.
Because the egg hardens when it goes through the hot water.
Yes. It's hot water. So understanding
Yes.
egg to change something stronger.
Yes.
And work for the brain. Excellent. I love that. I'm not coming to you. Yes. Let me pick the lady. Yeah, Becky.
I would pick I think I would pick the coffee bean. And because the coffee bean, when you put it, it has to go through a lot of refined processes before it gets to the process we can be able to. It has lots of processes it goes through. That's why. And so when you put it in water too, it doesn't just melt down easily because that's not being refined. That's why.
Let me appreciate our Dennis and Peace. All right. So come in here. Let me go to the front. All right. Hello, my friend. Who is my friend? I know it's deliberate and not get up.
Eggs. I'm thinking.
All right. Why?
When you put it in, you know, say that's what Mr. Ben said.
Okay. All right. So I'm not going to that. I just need 3 people, but everybody, you've avoided carrot. Is anybody that wants to pick carrot? Anybody online? Drop your comment online, please. Comment online. So I need someone that really want to volunteer and tell us, because those people I picked them now volunteer to tell me what you think you will be and why. Yes, ma'am. Right. I'll find out.
I'd rather be the coffee bean because the coffee bean diffuses the situation.
Okay.
it diffuses the place. The coffee bean diffuses in hot water. It changes the atmosphere of where it is. It changes the atmosphere of where it is. It changes the atmosphere of where it is. Meanwhile, okay, let me just explain. The carrot, I wouldn't want to be a carrot because the carrot becomes soft in hot water. So under pressure, it breaks up. And the egg becomes hard-hearted, becomes hard under pressure. But the coffee is not affected by the situation, it affects the situation around it.
Did you see the I really appreciate Skamodu.
Dangerous.
Please, you can help us come and drop check the charge of place.
Hot water quote and unquote is dangerous, it burns. But rather than burn me, I rather it hardens me. So I am not melting. Exactly, I'm not melting and I am still useful being put in hot water. The carrot in hot water is more or less.
Please let me go to the Please appreciate that. And that's going to be the last comment for me to have volunteer from IT. That's fantastic.
Wonderful. I feel treat something that has multiple forms and more varieties. So I can fry it, I can boil. The other ones are just one form. That's my opinion.
Okay. All right, please let me appreciate it. Okay, fantastic. Any comment online, please? Anybody? Have they picked it? What it will be? No, let them drop. Please, online, if you're online, drop whether you're a carrot, you're a coffee bean, or egg. All right. So, by the way, before I move on, how many of us will have chosen carrots? Raise up your hand. I'm not bringing mic to you. Just you pick carrots. So we don't have any carrots in, but that's not true. I know. Then, how many of you will pick eggs? Those that have picked eggs before. All right. So we have eggs in the room. So egg, what is your name? What's your name? Egg Shelly. All right. Then who are the people that would have gone for the coffee bean? Right. So we have a lot of coffee in the house. Coffee is the best. All right. So now the point of this exercise is very simple. Each of the items actually has its own unique attributes, functionality, benefits, value that brings to the table. Since we've always been talking about table. All right. Imagine a combination of all of them on your breakfast. You're gonna have very good breakfast, isn't it? Imagine you going only for coffee. You get some kick from coffee, but you won't get the kind of nutrients that you will have gotten from a carrot. The same for egg. But beyond the combination of the three of them, back to some of the comments that we've given about carrots. Carrots, before pressure, now, hot water represents pressure in the workplace. Before pressure, carrots appears to be the strongest. Yeah. And it's always able to respond and give you what you want. But the moment you turn on the heat, this person will just become, weak and incapacitated. This person can't function. Once the environment becomes too heated, he or she cannot function anymore. And it is your duty as colleagues to recognize and know the nature and the attributes, the characteristics of people that you work with, such that you will not think because you are a coffee that diffuses any situation that comes under any way that you want to make such the same demand on a carrot. And you think because there is pressure and carrot couldn't function as you expected it to function, is no longer useful. That is not true. Because even in that weak state, somebody said that even carrot gives you more nutrients when it is boiled. Do you get that? So you don't even know, you just don't need to know how to interact with that person when you are under pressure. It's a sense of emotional intelligence. As a matter of fact, the definition of emotional intelligence simply says emotional intelligence is a learned ability, everything learned. So you have to learn it. It's a learned ability to, one, identify, understand, and manage your emotions. Then the emotions of the other person. Are you with me? So now look at the egg. Egg, for me, the way I would describe egg is that egg is really deceptive. Why? As you are looking at it, we didn't know whether it is in a raw state or in a boiled state. Until you put pressure on it, it is pressure that will not reveal, this guy is in a raw state. Or it's in a, boiled state. And it also means that you have, so egg is more sensitive. So you have to approach egg in a very delicate manner. You have to have conversation to be able to know what is the current state of mind or the egg space of the egg each time you talk to the egg. Are you with me? A fantastic coffee bean. Coffee bean thrives under every condition. Whether boiled or not, it retains its authentic, flavor. Are you with me? Whether you boil it, whether you grind it, whether you leave it like that. Remember when you enter all this perfume shop and you've tested several fragrances, as it were, and they want to neutralize them for you to be able to smell fresh one, they'll bring coffee bean to you for you to smell. Because it will neutralize everything, deodorize it. So, ladies and gentlemen, the bottom line of this conversation this morning is that all of us here, for us to be able to get optimum value from everyone, you must be willing to know who you work with, the person you are working with, the person you are reporting to, the people reporting to you. You need to understand their nature, but that is when you can actually get the best from everybody as a team. I think that's some interesting conversation there. All right. I already can tell you that we are not going to finish this subject today, and with your permission, let me go the part of PG. So this will be part 1. And we're going to come back with part 2. Lawan, just chill, okay? Just be refining your slides until we're able to get this out of the way. So very quickly, I want you to check this. Can anybody read this? Anybody? Okay. But let me tell you what it is, because I've been to China many times. In fact, I was born in China. But I just know that if I continue to read this to you, you won't understand. So let me read it in a language that you understand. And that is, somebody read this for me. All of us, we always fight one another because you are fighting to the herd. You are fighting for your voice to be the loudest. In fact, you are fighting to always have the final say in every situation. But most times, for you to get along well with people, this is the habit 5 from the 7 habits of highly effective people that says the same thing, but in a different way. That seek first to understand before you are understood. And this thing would really help you to go a long way and probably get along well with people. When you always seek to understand their point of view, where they're coming from, and all of that. So I've said this to also let you know that emotional intelligence is the only type of intelligence from all the different forms of intelligence or intelligences that we have that will enable you to be able to at least be empathetic towards people, be able to defer to people when you are interacting and when you are discussing with them. Now, this is it. So, a case for emotional intelligence and using the body of knowledge research by Daniel Goleman. That was the guy that made the concept of emotional intelligence very popular. All right. And he concluded in his book, Emotional Intelligence, that's just the title of the book. He also wrote another book, Working with Emotional Intelligence. However, they said they discovered that of all the intelligences, emotional intelligence is that which will help you to develop relationships with people and be able to get the most from that relationship with people. And why is that so? Even organizations are beginning to redefine what they look out for when they recruit people. Beyond your IQ, beyond your intelligent quotient, your emotional quotient, it's actually more important than that. You can graduate from the university with first class, come top of your class and all of that. But when you come to the workplace, beyond that, you need to be able to know how to demonstrate or probably develop your emotional intelligence, which is what really helps us to work with people. So this is the skills that distinguish what? Star performance in every field. All right. And most important factor is not your IQ. I demonstrated something here the other time when we met, and I described competence as a combination of three interlocking components. We talked about your knowledge and your skill, and we talked about your attitude. I can replace the attitude with emotional intelligence. Yeah, and I can replace the knowledge and skills for your IQ. Your IQ can get you the job, but your EQ will help to keep it. And that's the understanding that we need to take away from this conversation. So this shows that we all possess the potential to improve our emotional intelligence at any stage in our careers, individuals, or as a team members in any organization. Why is that so important? Because it is now a new yardstick for measuring people's progress and success in life. Again and again, if you are working with people in a team and all the time you are always the one that wants to prove that you are right all the time, trust me, you're going to have issue with people. Not because they hate you, but no human being wants anybody to make them feel stupid. Oh yes, if I know that I'm the top grade stupid person and I find myself in your midst, I won't want you to treat me, I want you to even treat me like I'm not even stupid at all. And that's how you can actually also get the best out of me, no matter how, no matter how small you think my skill set or my competences can contribute to what we're doing. No matter how tiny my contribution is, please try and acknowledge it. And when you do that, you get along well with people. Look at this, the rules for work are changing, and therefore we are being judged by a new yardstick. Why? So not just by how smart we are, or by our training or expertise, but also by how we handle ourselves and others. And this is increasingly becoming what? Applied to choosing who will be hired or who won't be, and who will be promoted or retained on the job or not. Why? Remember the other time we said that attitude, in fact, there's another analysis that attitude is everything. When you substitute the alphabet with numbers and you add them together, it gives you 100%. Bring knowledge in, it will give you. Bring wisdom in, it will give you. Bring any other. I mean, there's some things that I don't know how they just always sit well. That this is a major, missing link, I can say, for all of us to be able to get along well on the job and also to bring the best to the organization that we work for. So I talked about loosely for decades under a variety of names. Some people call it character, some people call it personality, traits, or soft skills, or competence. So there is at least a more precise understanding of this human talent, which is emotional intelligence. So like I said earlier on, there are other forms of intelligences. Yeah. So I want to ask you, Dwayne, can you tell me how many I've heard about the other quotients apart from emotional intelligence and also intelligent quotient? Anybody? Online? Yes, sir.
Spatial intelligence. We have something about photographic intelligence. We have visual intelligence. There is this one again, about 7 or 8 of them. Yeah, I have what is the rest?
And all of them, they are also very, very important to help us get ahead in life. Who would have thought that Sister Elsie's department is a body of intelligence? Musical. There's musical intelligence, which means you are music smart. You can read music, you can understand music, you can read notes, okay, you can compose music, so it is a form of intelligence on its own. Then body kinesthetic, those that are body smart. You see people turning their body in a very funny way, acrobatic display and all of that. It's a form of intelligence as well. And there is also interpersonal skills. You are people smart, exceptional when it comes to dealing with people. You can work with everybody. Even if the devil comes and be part of your team, you work excellently with the devil. Those people, that's what we call interpersonal intelligence. Then there is also verbal linguistic intelligence. People that we always call orators, like people in the department of Brother Sylvester, the editors, the editors, the writers, the newscasters, all of them, those people, they are considered to be what? Verbal linguistic intelligence. Then there is logical, mathematical as well intelligence. Why? Because they are logic smart. These are people that you find in IT. People that can understand algorithms, they can understand, calculations and all of that. Also in Sister Moji's world, accounts also. Then you look at naturalistic intelligence, people that understand nature. I can tell you all those people that we call the herbalists, they will come under this category. Oh yes, because you can say that I know the name the leaf is called. And that's why you have some people called Baba Ewenje. Because they can speak to them and they can understand them. It's another form of intelligence, and all of these were given to us by God to be able to do what? To advance the cause of humanity. And of course, interpersonal intelligence also, self-smart. These people talk about self-care. If you don't love yourself, how can you love the next person? So when you take care of yourself, you take care of what belongs to you, then you will automatically be able to know how to take care of other people and what belongs to other people. Are you with me? Online, please, if you're still with me, please drop check for me in the chat room, and I need somebody to tell me if they have responded. Then the one that Pastor Paul started with is visual spatial, which is picture smart. All these guys behind the cameras, and particularly when you get the photonomies around us, those are the, people that they understand, pictures and how to take pictures, or how to, even people that are artists. All right, they have this, all the people that, produce all these portraits, mural designs and all of that. Those are picture smart people. And while we're talking about all of this, you will be surprised that people around you, they exhibit different forms of intelligence. And understandably so. There is a guy, something Bobo. That guy uses anything to paint. He can close his eyes and he will paint something. By the time he turns the picture, you will see, wow. Sometimes he can take somebody's head to just be painting. At the end of the day, the guy will give you a picture. Now, no matter how gifted you are, all of these, they are form of gifts and talents. But At the end of the day, the most important is the emotional intelligence. Are you with me? Okay, so we've already answered this. What is emotional intelligence? And I move on. Because again, it's a learned what? Ability to do what? And what? And what? Our emotions and those of others. But the truth is that even when we claim that we're emotionally intelligent, we are really not as intelligent emotionally as we ought to be. Because we have not taken time to even study your own personal emotions, to study yourself. Somebody talked about being intentional. Being intentional means that everything you go through, you are conscious. You have the presence of mind to know what is going on around you per time. When somebody is beginning to abuse you, you are aware of what you are likely to see next. And therefore, you are able to, don't let me, preempt myself. Oh, it's time now, 9:16. Okay. I'm going to stop at what are emotions. So in terms of what are emotions, emotions have four basic expressions: through your feelings, through your thoughts, which is your thinking, through your body reaction, and overall your behavior. That's how we get to know the kind of emotion that is going through, passing through you as a person. That is nothing you do that doesn't emanate from your mind. Everything you do comes from your mind. And I think that's why the scripture says that you should guard that mind with all diligence. Why? Because out of it flows all issues of life. All right. Because what you feel is always a function of what is going on in your mind. In fact, your interpretation of what is going on most times. Because sometimes what you think is going on might not be what is going on, but your own interpretation of what you think is going on. And that's why it's important for us in the workplace. Instead of always thinking and act based on your assumption, you should always be bold and be courageous to engage in honest conversation with people. When you have a misconception about somebody, instead of acting based on those assumptions, somebody said that when you assume, let me see, we were in the church, but bear with me. The word assumption is from what? The word what? Assume. All right. So anytime you base your decision on assumption, this is what happens to you. You always make an ass of you and me. Yeah. You always mess up the relationship. We always mess up something. Therefore, assumption is not easy for you to have, but it is for you to go and ask the question. How we stick together. So, feeling, he said, this is the label that we use to describe the emotion. Thinking, said what goes on in our logical mind, what we actually think of the event and its interpretation, not necessarily the actual event, but how you are interpreting it. As we are here right now, do you know another philosophy of learning is that nothing has any meaning, but the meaning that you give it. Yes, because as we are in this room now, we have different interpretation to what is going on right now. Oh yes, and we have different interpretation to how we can apply it. In fact, we have different interpretation as to who this particular session is for. In this room right now, so good, if you go to Brazil, it's good that you are talking about this. That person on that corner deserves this kind of message. That's how it can be. All right. So body reaction also said our physical body response, such as heart rate, sweating, breathing rate, etc. And of course, your behavior is how we now eventually respond to the emotions that you are feeling. And that's what becomes your behavior. And if we want to alter your behavior, you have to first alter your thinking, all right, and regulate how you feel. And that on its own will change how you will act at the end of the day. I think because of our time today, we wasted a lot of time trying to get the system up. And I wouldn't want to just rush through. Next week, Wednesday, I pray I'm in town. Next week, Wednesday, we would continue. There's still so much we can talk about this. I'll just flash through so that you know that we need to have conversation around this. We'll have conversation around the misconceptions. We are not taking that today. We'll have conversation about even the origin and the the central claim, which has now made emotional intelligence. Then we need to also go through this Marshall test. You know, it's also a very powerful lesson. There is a video. We don't have time for that today. Then, of course, also now take you through the emotional intelligence framework. Then we'll move on to look at how do you begin to now recognize your emotion and begin to do what to avoid emotional hijack. So we'll look at what exactly is emotional hijack. All right, from emotional hijack. All right, how do we describe what's going on in your brain per time? Okay, so that you can now begin to identify when your emotions are about to be hijacked, and how do you arrest it such that you don't act in a way that will lead to regret. Then at the end of the day, we'll look at that's just a humor. Then I built this scenario, and for us to begin to understand how emotional pressure can build up, and if you're not emotionally intelligent, something will happen. The last person will be the one that will carry all the pressure that you have been bottling up all this while. And the person might not necessarily be the one that initiated the problem. All right. I built this, it's just like a cloud. When they said that when your cloud is full, the rain will fall. It's the same thing for emotions, truly, honestly. All right. So I just build up. It's a practical lessons of what could happen before you leave the house. Your wife says something to you, your husband, or your gate man, something. So again, but I think I would like for you to take this emotional intelligence assessment. Maybe by next week we can, now discuss this in detail. So bring up your phone, pick this, scan this QR code. All right. You don't have to do it in the class now because we need to wrap up right about now. Yes, Ibaro, please come over here. And I need somebody online to at least also say something to us today before we wrap up. Please come over, please. Please, Lawa, could you mention the names of people we have online so I can call somebody to speak to us?
Okay, thank you. My question is, from everything you've shared here and what we look forward to doing next week, where does people's temperaments come in this, where we have the sanguine, choleric, phlegmatic, and all that?
Please help me appreciate that. I think people at the back, they seem to have seen my facilitator's notes. Okay, because after this QR code, the next thing you're going to do is to also scan the next QR code. This one is emotional intelligence assessment. The next one is DISC assessment. And this speaks to temperament, your personality types. All right. And but I will explain it next week. Okay, but I can give you quickly. Temperaments generally also come to play, all right, when you are interacting with people. But in respect of your temperament, if you become emotionally intelligent, the downside or the delta of your temperament may not necessarily work against you, but can actually help you to understand people better and all of that. Please. Okay.
Yes, this is suggestion.
Yeah.
I see there's so much to learn just looking at the slides, and there's a tendency to want to rush learning. We just take time and dwell on it for some time instead of saying, oh, now with these tools, for example.
So thank you so much. Yeah, the second person saying this, Pastor Tipo was also of the same opinion that at least we should have fun now. And you know, the way human mind works is that you've told people 30 minutes or you've told them 45 minutes. The moment it's 45 minutes, some people will switch off. Well, exactly. So if we now say that if it is our learning sessions, particularly, I agree with you. All right, can we just block 60 minutes? We know that we lost time today quite all right, but going forward, now this is the second time we shifted last time, but we're not going to shift again because we shouldn't spend more than 1 hour, all right, for it. Yes, if we can't finish the subject, we give the speaker the next plot again, and the next plot. What I found out in organization is that it will get to a point that the partner will be begging HR, please, can you give me a slot in your next instance? We want to discuss this. Yes, it will get to that point. People will say, there's something burning that we want people to know. We're starting a project we want people to know. That is something that we just install. That is, different things. Somebody can say, no, what, we have changed something around your pay, whatever it is. So that will just, and we need to educate people. So this is a platform for organizational learning and conversational. So by next week, we should be able to have on our brain that IT guys. Everybody, let me put your hands together for the IT guys. Let me appreciate them. And let me not talk to them that next week, all things being equal, please get this place ready for us. Latest 8:15. God bless you. Thank you. So now, Eboro, this next one is for you and every other person. This is DISC. Please, you can scan this also. This is the temperament one, but I will explain it. Okay. DISC, all right, speaks to the 4 types of temperaments that we have. Your popular sanguine, your powerful choleric, your peaceful phlegmatic, and your perfect melancholic. Those 4 guys can also be broken to DISC. DISC means dominance, influence, steady, and compliant. All right. Then we can break up 4 of them into 2, introverted and extroverted people. Okay, we will discuss it during the next session as it is. All right. Moving on. I think, yes. At the end of the day, you will soon realize that the map is not really the territory. Most of the time, I will explain what that means to us next week, and we'll close with this video that what kind of emotions are you spreading, and we'll bring the session to a close. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing all of you next week. God bless. All right, any other comments online? Any comments online? No, give me names of people that we have online, please. Mr. Isaac, please unmute your mic and say something about today's session, please. Thank you. Unmute your mic, and let's really test that we can hear them online. Rising.
เขาจะได้อะไร ถ้าเขาทำแบบนี้ทุกวัน
That's my glass. Yeah. Isaac. Another person there, please, so that because of our time. Temi is my person. Call somebody else. Because after the session last week, she still sent a message, personal message. So Pastor Femi is the big boss. Who is that? Biodun. That's another leader there. Rabiodun, unmute.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. See, that's another thing. You can see that you can't hear them. Now, yes, over to you.
Okay. Today's session has been wonderful. I will suggest, I'm in agreement with the fact that we need to give it 1 hour so that we can have more time devoted to this session. And hopefully, I hope this QR code will be shared on whether through the WhatsApp group chat for staff so that some of us can also scan right away and we can begin to answer the questions embedded.
Okay, it's not a question, it's an assessment to just give you some insight about your temperament also insight about your emotional intelligence quotient. All right. Thank you so much. We've actually spent a lot of time today, and going forward from next week, all things being equal, we'll be spending like 60 minutes, 8:30 to 9:30. All right. Thank you very much, Brother Abiodun, for that comment. What he's saying essentially is that I should also send those QR code. Brother Lekon, you will send it on the WhatsApp group to everybody. He said he can't, because probably maybe they are using their phone right now, so they can't scan it at the same time. All right, on that note, I think we've come to the end of the session today. And thank you so much for your engaging, and for also your willingness to learn. This is not the beginning of learning nothing. Thank you so much. So come to me. I've sent the note for the previous one. Yes. When was the last time you read your name? If I wanted to send the recording also, because I want to send the recording to me, so I can send the recording also. Okay. All right. So thank you, everybody. Please don't to your neighbor say Happy Valentine.